If you invest your first $100 the wrong way, you won't just lose money, you'll lose years of growth. And most beginners make this mistake without realizing it. Maybe you've already invested your first $100. Or maybe you're still standing on the sidelines, watching videos, reading articles, and telling yourself you'll start once you feel more prepared. Both situations are more common than you think. And more importantly, both are completely fine. One of the biggest myths in investing is the idea that there's a perfect starting line. That somewhere out there is a moment when the conditions are just right. Enough money saved, enough knowledge gained, enough confidence built. But that moment rarely arrives. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because investing was never designed to feel comfortable at the beginning. The truth is simple. No one starts at the right time. Some people begin with $100 and doubt every decision they make. Others wait until they have $1,000 or $10,000, only to feel the same fear, just with higher stakes. The uncertainty doesn't disappear with more money. It disappears when you build a process you can trust. What actually matters in investing isn't where you're starting from today. It's whether you build a system that works from this point forward. A system that doesn't rely on perfect timing, emotional decisions, or constant attention. A system that grows quietly in the background while you live your life. That's why comparing yourself to others is one of the most dangerous habits a beginner can develop. You'll always find someone who started earlier, invested more, or seems further ahead. But their starting point doesn't define your future. Your consistency does. The strategy you're about to learn isn't built for people who already have it all figured out. It's built for real people with doubts, limited time, and imperfect knowledge. It doesn't care whether your first step is $0 or your first small investment. It adapts to where you are and grows with you. This is where most beginners get it wrong. They think investing success comes from knowing more, predicting better, or waiting longer. In reality, success comes from starting with what you have and committing to a repeatable approach. Because the moment you stop asking, "Am I ready?" and start asking, "What's my system?" everything changes. You stop chasing perfect conditions. You stop waiting for confidence. You stop standing still. And that's when progress begins. There is no perfect starting line in investing. There never has been. There is only a decision to stay on the sidelines or to start building something that compounds over time. Wherever you are right now, that's enough. And from here forward, growth becomes a choice. The real goal isn't $100. Most beginners treat their first $100 like it's the finish line. They stare at it, protect it, overthink it, and sometimes even fear it. Every decision feels heavy because that small amount carries a big meaning. It represents hope, effort, and the desire to finally do something right with money. But here's the truth. $100 isn't the goal. It's not even close. The real purpose of your first $100 isn't growth. It's behavior. What matters far more than the amount is what you do after you invest it. Do you panic at the first drop? Do you chase something new when it feels slow, or do you stay consistent and let time do its work? Those habits matter far more than early returns. Wealth is never built from one perfect decision. It's built from a series of small, repeatable actions that feel almost boring in the moment. The people who stay stuck usually aren't lazy or careless. They simply never build a system they can stick to. They rely on motivation, excitement, or emotion, and those always fade. The investors who succeed understand something most beginners don't. Progress beats intensity. You don't need big wins. You need small actions done consistently. That means investing regularly, staying invested when things feel quiet, and resisting the urge to constantly change direction. When your actions become automatic, growth becomes inevitable. This is where most people go wrong. They think wealth comes from finding the perfect investment. In reality, wealth comes from reducing decision-making. The fewer emotional choices you have to make, the more likely you are to stay invested long enough for compounding to work. A system removes pressure. A system removes guesswork. A system keeps you moving forward when motivation disappears. And without a system, even the smartest people burn out. That's why focusing only on your first $100 is a mistake. That $100 is just the starting signal. What really matters is whether it leads to your second investment, your third, and your 10th. Whether it becomes a habit instead of a one-time action. Because once investing becomes routine, the fear fades. The numbers grow. The confidence builds naturally, not from hype, but from experience. The difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who stays stuck isn't how much they start with. It's whether they create a process they can follow for years, not weeks. $100 isn't the finish line. It's the foundation. From $100 to $1,000 without gambling. Let's be clear about one thing right from the start. This is not about doubling your money overnight. It's not about chasing the next hot stock, riding hype cycles, or guessing which market move comes next. And it's definitely not about turning investing into a casino. That mindset is exactly what keeps most beginners stuck. When people hear turn $100 into $1,000, their brain immediately jumps to shortcuts. Big risks, fast trades, all or nothing bets. But those approaches rarely build wealth. What they usually build is stress, disappointment, and eventually quitting. Real progress looks very different. The goal here is simple, realistic, and achievable. Turn your first $100 into your first $1,000 reinvested by stacking small, intelligent decisions over time. Not by winning big once but by staying consistent long enough for compounding to do the heavy lifting. This is where mindset matters. Gambling focuses on outcomes. Investing focuses on process. Gambling asks, how fast can I win? Investing asks, how long can I stay in the game? When you remove the pressure to get rich quickly, something powerful happens. You stop making emotional decisions. You stop panicking over short-term drops. And you stop risking money you can't afford to lose. Instead, you start thinking in systems. A system doesn't require perfect timing. A system doesn't rely on predictions. A system works whether markets are exciting or boring. That's how long-term investors grow their portfolios quietly while everyone else jumps in and out, chasing noise. And here's the part most beginners underestimate. Confidence compounds just like money does. Every small, smart decision reinforces the habit. Every reinvestment strengthens belief. Instead of one stressful bet, you build momentum through repetition. Over time, that momentum becomes far more valuable than any single winning trade ever could be. You don't need a massive paycheck to do this. You don't need inside information. And you don't need to watch charts all day. What you need is a framework that encourages patience, protects your downside, and allows steady growth. Because once you reach that first $1,000 not from luck, but from consistency, you've proven something far more important than returns. You've proven that you can follow a process. You've proven that you can stay invested. You've proven that wealth building is possible for you. And once that belief is in place, scaling becomes easier. This isn't gambling. It's construction, brick by brick, decision by decision, built to last, not to impress. Why systems beat motivation? Motivation is powerful, but it's fleeting. You might wake up excited one morning, ready to take action. But tomorrow that same energy might vanish. Discipline can break. Willpower can run out. And when it does, your goals stall, no matter how talented or determined you are. That's why relying solely on motivation is a trap for beginners and even experienced investors. If your success depends on how you feel each day, progress becomes unpredictable. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, other days you'll feel paralyzed. And in investing, inconsistency can be costly. Missing a single opportunity or panicking during a downturn can derail years of progress. This is where systems come in. Systems are rules, processes, and habits designed to work regardless of your mood or external circumstances. They remove emotion from decision-making. They create a predictable path for consistent results. Long-term investors succeed not because they are always motivated, but because they have systems that run automatically, guiding their actions day after day, month after month, and year after year. Think of a system as a safety net. It protects you from impulsive decisions and reduces stress, while keeping your investments on track. It doesn't rely on timing the market or chasing trends. Instead, it emphasizes consistency, discipline, and patience, the three ingredients that have produced wealth for generations. This principle is behind every successful investing strategy that has lasted decades. Index funds, broad market ETFs, automated contributions, and reinvestment plans all follow rules rather than moods. They remove guesswork and emotions, allowing compounding to work quietly in the background. Beginners often overlook this, chasing excitement or hot tips, only to find themselves discouraged when results fluctuate. By focusing on systems instead of motivation, you create a reliable framework for growth. Your first $100, your next $500, and every addition after that starts to matter, not because of luck, but because your system keeps compounding your effort consistently. Systems give you freedom, the freedom to make mistakes without derailing your entire plan, the freedom to step away from the market without stress, and the freedom to grow wealth quietly and reliably. In the end, motivation might get you started, but systems keep you winning. Wealth isn't built on bursts of energy or inspiration. It's built on steady, rule-based actions repeated over time. The more you trust your system, the less you'll rely on fleeting motivation, and the faster your investments and your confidence will grow.